Welcome to Crimson Clovers, where I, tell you true crime stories from all over the world. I'm your host, and today's case is one that definitely changed South Korea from where it was like 10 or 20 years ago. It's a heartbreaking story about neglect, a failure, and justice. It's the case of 16-month-old Jeong-In, a toddler whose tragic death exposed flaws in the South Korea child protection system. Though, before we begin, I wanna say this is a content warning. This episode contains talk of child abuse and neglect. So if you get disgusted by that or you get scared, pause and go to sleep. Cause yeah. So it all started on October 13th, 2020. A 16-month-old Jeong-In was brought into a hospital in Seoul. She was unresponsive, and she was covered in bruises, and she showed signs of severe internal injuries, like organ stuff and all that. So, but the doctors, they fought to save her. But unfortunately, it was too late. Jeong-In passed away later that evening, and her cause of death was severe abdominal trauma caused by prolonged abuse. What makes this case even more tragic is that it could have been prevented. Over the months leading up to her death, multiple reports were made about Jeong-In's well-being. Daycare teachers, doctors, even concerned strangers on the streets saw her being abused and noticed the signs of her being abused, like bruises, weight loss that wasn't normal for toddler. It wasn't normal to lose that much weight, and signs of neglect. But each and every single time it was reported, no one did anything. All the reports were dismissed because people, or the people who took care of these kind of reports, they didn't even care, and they had more important stuff to do than the life of a toddler. So Jeong-In's history was that she was adopted by, what looked like a loving couple. But behind closed doors, her life was a nightmare. Her adoptive mother, Jang, was accused of violently abusing her, pushing her, hitting her, and dropping her from heights. It was genuinely concerning why a mother would do that. This a girl she adopted, but the details of her suffering are way too much, and I'm not gonna go over that, but it was really, really horrifying to read through them. So yeah, but all of them together, they paint a picture of clear cruelty. It was just all too much for a toddler. I don't know why anyone would do that. Yeah. So, if you're wondering why no one stepped in after reading all those reports, South Korea's child protection system failed the baby at every single level. Police officers visited her home but saw no reason to intervene, because when they visited, all they saw was a loving family that took care of a baby, and they dressed her up in not revealing clothes so they wouldn't see the bruises and the marks of the abuse, just to be oh yeah, we're doing good, nothing's happening. So the police officers left, even though welfare agencies also dismissed the signs. So in the end, all their inaction and immatureness cost this little girl's life. When the details of Jeong-In's death became public, South Korea erupted in outrage. Thousands of people gathered in protest demanding justice, and the phrase "Jeong-In, I'm sorry" trended on social media. Twitter, Instagram, anything that was a platform at that time, that phrase was trending on it. And people expressed their collective guilt and grief for not protecting her. So, the public pressure eventually led to the prosecution of her adoptive mother. In the court, prosecutors charged Jang with murder, arguing that she had knowingly and deliberately inflicted fatal injuries on Jeong-In. The trial gripped the nation, and the evidence was definitely overwhelming. Like, medical reports showed that the child had suffered multiple fractures and severe organ damage. Her adoptive father, though he wasn't directly abusive to the toddler, he was still charged for negligence because he failed to intervene. Like, this guy did not step in, he just watched his adoptive daughter get abused by his wife. So, yeah. In May 2021, finally, the court delivered its verdict. Jang was sentenced to life in prison. The public, though relieved that justice was finally served, still felt an immense sense of sorrow for the baby. Jeong-In's case led to significant legal changes, including the passage of the Jeong-In Act, which strengthened child abuse laws and increased penalties for abusers. But a lot still ask, will it be enough? Since cases like Jeong-In remind us for the importance of speaking up. If you suspect a child is in danger, don't hesitate. Report it. Report it to your mom so she can report it to authorities. Report it to your teacher for her to do the same. Just report it to someone. Do not keep it to yourself ever, ever, ever. Because if you see a child in danger and you witness it, what are you waiting for? Are you literally risking their lives just so you can go on about your day? Will you not feel regret later? Just report it to anyone, and it will definitely help. At least let the child or whatever get a check-in at their house. It will help. Every little thing matters. So, it'll help. Help. Help! Anyway, that's it for today's episode of Crimson Clovers. If you found the story interesting and impactful, share it around and spread awareness about child abuse. Okay, until next time, lock your doors and stay safe and lock your doors. Bye!